In this video, we will talk about Vladimir Putin net worth.
Welcome to the deep dive. We really try to get into the big stories, the facts, the mysteries that are out there shaping things.
You're trying to cut through the noise a bit.
Exactly, and give you the clearest picture we can. So today, well, we're tackling one of the really persistent, kind of murky puzzles in global finance and politics too.
It's a big one.
It is. What is Vladimir Putin's actual net worth? I mean, it's a question you hear constantly. Headlines, debates, but it feels like nobody really gets the full story. You know, all the secrecy.
There's layers upon layers.
So let's try and unpack it. This deep dive, we're basically laying out the two sides. You've got the official story.
But it's declared publicly.
Right? And then you have these staggering claims about hidden billions. Our goal really is for you, listening, to get a handle on these different stories, the huge gap between them, and the specific things people point to.
Understand what's actually known, what's just speculated, and why that difference, that gap, matters so much.
Yeah.
And it really does matter. It's not just, idle curiosity about a rich guy. When you're talking about a major world leader like Putin,
Right.
his perceived wealth, true or not, ties into everything. Geopolitics, how much power people think he has, his standing at home, how other countries see him.
That makes sense.
So the scrutiny is intense specifically because the official story and the rumors are just so wildly different. It immediately makes you ask big questions, doesn't it? About transparency, about power.
About what's really going on behind the curtain.
Exactly. It's fundamental to understanding the bigger picture.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's start where we have to, the official version. The story Putin and the Kremlin put out there.
The public face.
Yeah. And according to his own financial disclosures, the ones that get published, it's surprisingly modest. I mean, almost shockingly so. His official salary is reported at what, around $140,000 a year?
Roughly.
Yeah, in that ballpark, which, for context isn't exactly small change, but for a head of state of a major power, it's like a mid-level manager salary in some places, not what you'd maybe expect.
Not at all.
And then assets. What does he actually list? It's incredibly limited stuff. Usually like a small apartment, I think around 800 square feet.
Something like that, yeah. Very modest.
And maybe a couple of older, like Soviet-era cars. That's the picture.
It paints a very specific image, doesn't it? The dedicated public servant. Humble, almost ascetic. Focused on the job, not on riches.
And he leans into that, right?
Yeah.
He consistently denies having huge wealth. He often says his real wealth isn't money. It's, his quote is, the trust of the Russian people.
That's the narrative, absolutely. It's carefully crafted. It's a tool, really, for domestic consumption, for the international state.
Projecting integrity.
Exactly. Modesty, being grounded, one of the people almost. Not about personal gain, but like you said, that massive difference between this picture and, well, everything else.
It just immediately makes you raise an eyebrow, doesn't it?
It sparks curiosity, definitely. And skepticism. Is this real, or is it just strategy? Is there something else going on? That's the question it leaves you with.
Okay. But yeah, the official filings, that's definitely not where the story ends for most people looking into this.
Not by a long shot.
For a lot of critics, investigators, that modest account is just, a front, a smokescreen.
Designed to hide something much, much bigger.
And this is where it gets, really interesting. We pivot to the other narrative. It's just, it's the polar opposite. It almost doesn't compute.
The contrast is jarring.
You have the official salary, barely 6 figures, and then reports, critics, estimating his actual wealth, not just a bit more, but potentially. Well, the numbers fly around, but some go as high as $200 billion.
Billion with a B.
Yeah, $200 billion. Just trying to wrap your head around that difference. $140,000 versus $200 billion. It's, yeah, dizzying is the word.
It really is.
Now, these aren't just numbers plucked out of thin air, though. People who make these claims, they point to how this fortune was supposedly built.
Right. There's a theory behind it. It's not just he must be rich.
The core idea, you hear this from investigative journalists, from opposition figures like Alexei Navalny's group. It's not about finding Putin's name on a giant bank account.
No, it's described as much more complex. A system.
A system linking political power, state-owned companies, and personal enrichment. Right?
That's the allegation. That huge state resources, think oil, gas, minerals, those massive Russian industries are controlled and, effectively tapped.
How would that even work?
The claim is it works through proxies. Preferential contracts go to a tight circle of loyal oligarchs, people close to power.
Okay.
These oligarchs then make enormous profits, and the allegation is that a significant chunk of that wealth is managed or held, offshore usually, for Putin's ultimate benefit, or used to provide him with assets and a lifestyle.
So it's indirect, held by others.
That's the mechanism often described. It's fascinating not just for the scale, but the alleged structure. Power, state money, private wealth, all interwoven, but deliberately obscured.
Built for secrecy.
Precisely, which makes finding that smoking gun, that direct proof, incredibly hard.
Which brings up a key point for anyone listening, right? If it's so hard to prove, how do they even arrive at figures like $200 billion? How reliable are these estimates?
That is the million-dollar question, or perhaps the $200 billion question. And it's tough. These aren't official audits. It's more like financial forensics. They're projections based on valuing assets that are thought to be linked to him, even indirectly. Based on leaked documents, think Panama Papers, Pandora Papers.
Those leaks gave glimpses.
They did. Also, testimony from people who were once inside the system, defectors. And then just painstaking work tracing company ownerships, connecting dots between public records and, well, less public financial trails.
So piecing together clues.
Essentially, people like Bill Browder, the investor who became a major critic, he's put forward estimates based on his understanding of how money moves in Russia. Navalny's Anti-Corruption Foundation did incredible work mapping out assets, property records, flight logs.
Trying to identify the proxies, the people holding things.
Exactly. Shell companies, individuals who officially own multi-million-dollar assets, but don't seem to have the independent means. The analysis suggests patterns, connections, strongly hinting at a hidden beneficiary. It's not courtroom proof, maybe, but it paints a compelling picture for many.
And to make that picture even clearer, maybe less abstract, let's talk about some of the specific things, the assets people actually point to.
The headline grabbers.
Yeah, these are the details that really stick in your mind. They give you that aha moment, that sense of unbelievable wealth, like the famous Black Sea Palace.
Ah, yes, Putin's palace.
The alleged price tag is, what, $1.4 billion for one house?
Apparently. And the descriptions, I mean, a casino, an ice rink, an amphitheater, all on this massive, heavily guarded estate.
It's just, a long way from that small Moscow apartment.
A very long way.
And then there are things that came out in leaks, like the Pandora Papers. There's talk of a super yacht.
The Scheherazade, allegedly worth around $700 million.
A $700 million yacht. Over 450 feet long. Again, how does that square with the official salary?
It doesn't, on the face of it. That's the point critics make.
And it's not just the palace and the yacht. There are claims about, like, a whole fleet of luxury aircraft.
Multiple planes, yeah. Like a private air force.
Suggesting travel on a scale and in a style well beyond normal state business. And even smaller things, relatively speaking. The watches.
Ah, the watch collection. Some reports value individual watches at hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Which could easily add up to millions, just in wristwear. These aren't just abstract billions anymore. They're tangible things. A palace, a giant yacht, planes, watches. It paints a picture of extreme luxury, totally at odds with the official story.
And that's why these examples are so powerful, so crucial to the debate. They make the abstract number $200 billion, whatever it is, feel real.
Gives it color.
Exactly. You can picture a palace. You can picture a super yacht. It fuels the public discussion. It fuels the skepticism about the official denial.
Whether they're definitively proven his or not.
Right. The persistence of these detailed claims, often backed by some investigation, however incomplete, creates this really strong counter-narrative. It makes the idea of hidden wealth seem plausible, even likely, to many people.
It demonstrates a lifestyle, doesn't it? It just seems impossible on that declared income.
Profoundly inconsistent. And that inconsistency intensifies the whole mystery, makes it resonate more.
So, okay, you put these two stories next to each other. Story A, modest public servant, $140 salary, small flat. Story B, secret billionaire, palaces, yachts, jets, vast network of wealth held by others.
The contrast is stark.
It's a massive gulf, isn't it, between what's declared and what's alleged. And that contrast, that gap, that's what keeps this whole debate raging globally.
It fuels endless speculation, analysis, argument.
And then it has real-world consequences too, right? It affects diplomacy, sanctions.
Absolutely.
So why should you, listening to this, really care? Okay, it's a fascinating story. A bit like a thriller novel sometime.
True crime on a global scale.
Yeah. But it's more than just gossip, isn't it? It connects to bigger things, like transparency, power. how we even know what's true on the world stage.
It forces you to think, doesn't it? How do we weigh official statements from a government against reports from investigators or whistleblowers? Especially when the stakes are so high.
How do we assess information? What stories stick, even when they're denied? And what does that say about trust in leaders, in governments?
It really touches on the nature of power in our world. A world that's supposedly interconnected, full of information, yet still full of secrets, especially financial secrets.
Yeah.
And if you connect it, as you said, to the bigger picture, this kind of huge discrepancy, whether the allegations are 100% accurate or inflated or completely wrong, the existence of the gap itself, that has a huge impact.
How so?
Well, it shapes how other countries deal with Russia and its leader. It shapes how Russian citizens might view their own government if they get access to this information. It becomes part of Putin's image, his legacy, regardless of the ultimate truth.
So the mystery itself becomes a factor.
A huge factor. It forces everyone, diplomats, journalists, citizens, you listening right now, to grapple with the reliability of information, the challenge of offshore secrecy, and just what it means when potentially vast wealth seems completely unaccountable.
It makes you question the nature of power itself.
Unaccountable power, particularly. And the tools, financial and political, that might be used to maintain it.
Which really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? As we wrap up this deep dive, just think about the fact that this mystery exists. This huge, unresolved question mark over the personal finances of such a major world leader.
And persists for so long.
Yeah. What does that do to global diplomacy, to public trust, even to our basic sense of trying to find the truth in a complicated world? We've laid out the two extremes, the modest official life, the alleged unbelievable wealth.
$140,000 on one side, maybe $200 billion on the other.
And the enduring question is just, what does it mean when the truth could seemingly be either of those or somewhere in between, and we just can't definitively know?
That uncertainty isn't just a footnote, it's a condition we operate under. It shapes how we understand power, wealth, and international relations today.
It's a riddle.
Yeah.
And probably one without an easy answer anytime soon.
Seems unlikely.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. It's definitely a complex one. We hope this gave you a clearer, maybe more nuanced view of the whole debate.
Hopefully some food for thought.
Definitely. Till next time, keep digging, keep asking questions.